Hey guys, welcome back to Microsoft Original, and today is another exciting edition, and we are going to talk about Microsoft Access and VB.NET login system. So, before we get started, if you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And let's get started. So I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to call this Access Login. Just like this. Just click on create, then create your project. Since we have our project here, I'm just going to go ahead and then resize this into this section. Now I just want to do some little bit of adjustment here. Just start this from the center screen like this. I'm just going to add two text boxes. Add first one. Just want to change the font size from 8 to 12. Right, and I just want to extend this a little bit. Then I add a label. With this label, I'm just going to change the font size, the label size, to 12. There you go, just like this. And with the text of it, the label, I'm just going to change it to username like that. So I have this here. I'm just going to copy, then I paste it right way down here. Just position them here. Just gonna change this to password. Excellent. This is it. Just gonna add just one more button, just a normal button here, and let's just give this button a name called login. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and create a new form. Just gonna call this main form. Right, so I have this main form here. So what I'm gonna do basically is just to go to start access. Good. Just gonna go ahead and then create a new database. Let's give this database a name, say tutorial DB, like this. So I'm just going to show a directory where I want to save this project to, and I just want to redirect myself to my project directory, which of course I can see from here, from my source. Yeah, then I go to the repo, then I have access login inside the bin folder. From the debug folder, I just want to keep it right here. Click on OK, then create. So whilst we have the table, let's just enter into the design view. Let's call this users. That is the name for the table. We have a default ID, and I'm just going to set up a username and a password. So I'm just going to set an ID, then I set up a username and a password. This ID is not going to be a short text, but it's actually going to be auto increment, right guys? That is going to be a number, and it's going to be auto increment. Right, so since we are done from here, we can actually go ahead and then save this. Then let's go here, then let's add some data here. Just going to say user and pass. Just going to say data and password, just like this. Then let's save this. Since we want to use this, I'm just going to go ahead and minimize this. Then I come back here. Let's give these guys some names, which of course we can refer to them later on as we move on. So I'm just going to call this txt username. I'm just going to call this txt password. Then I call this btn login. Perfect. Now we have to go to the view mode, and that is going to be from the coding section. So I'm just going to set it up to 130 so you can see clearly here. So first thing first, we just have to make some imports. So I'm just going to import I'm just gonna import system.data.oledb, and I'm just gonna import system.windows.visual style element. That's perfect. Now let's come down here, and inside here I just want to create a private sub called login. That is the name I want to give to this. And from here we're just going to create our connection. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go here, inside here, then I just want to say dim con as new OLEDB connection, like this. And this is where our connection is actually going to be. So inside here we're just going to say provider, and this provider is going to be Microsoft.ace.oledb.12.0. we end it with a semicolon. Then we're just going to say data source. That is going to be where we're going to call the source from. And since we have the source inside our directory, just going to use the & like this. And inside the & just going to say my.application.info.directory path, like this. And after this & we're just going to specify the directory we have our file to be. And inside our directory we're just going to go ahead and add up a / to this. So in my case I have this /, and remember we created a database name to be tutorial.db. So I'm just going to go ahead and say tutorial.db. Now I have to give out the extension. It's going to be ACCDB, just like this. Perfect. Now let's dim cmd as OLEDB command, like this. And this is going to be equal to new OLEDB command. And this command is actually going to be the command which will select from the database we have created. So I'm just going to say select, then we use the *, then we say from, then we give out the table name that is called users, and I'm just going to say should select from where, then I go in for the username equal to, so we just have to assign the username to something. So I'm just going to bring this first two and bring these two, and inside here I'm just going to add 2 of these, and I just have to do this. Now I just have to say txt username.text. That will be assigned to the username, and what I'm going to do is just going to be the same thing. So and I'm going to say from here, just going to say and within this password I just want to put the password in bracket just to make it specific, and I'm just going to set it up to this same thing, right, like this. Then I just want to say txt password.text. Now since we are working with this, we simply have to open the connection or refer to the connection. So what we have to do is we just have to add a comma, then we call the con, like this. So simple. Good. Now what we want to do from here is just to create up some empty string. So I'm just going to say dim user a string, and this string is equal to be an empty string, dim password as string, which is equal to an empty string. Then we open the connection since we're going to use the connection. So I'm just going to declare SDR as OLEDB data adapter reader, reader. So where is this? OLEDB data reader. Yep. And this is going to be equal to the cmd.execute reader, like this. Excellent. Now we just have to use the if statement. Just going to say if SDR dot read. So we're just going to say if SDR, if the SDR dot read, and we're just going to set it up to true, then we have to do something. So we just have to say the user is now going to change out to SDR, then we refresh something here, and then the password is going to be equals to the SDR, then we refresh something here. Now in here, what we have to refer is actually going to be the username, and here is actually going to be the password, just like this. Now if the user is able to enter whatever is inside our database username and inside our database password, meaning the person have successfully logged in. So in this case, we just have to add up a message box actually telling the person that login successful, just like this. And I just want to use MSG box style. Okay, then I add up something like login. Perfect. So here, after that, we just have to call in our form. So that is going to be main form dot show me.hide. Well, and if there is any error, we just have to use the else statement. So we're just going to say else. If there is any error, we should show up a message box dialog telling the user that, okay, so login, I'll just say invalid username or password. Perfect. Okay, so I just want to say invalid username or password. Now we have this login right here and everything seems to be working fine. So we just have to go back here, double click on the login, then simply call the login function. Save your project. Before you run this, just make sure you have completely closed your access database file. Else it's not going to work. So let's just click on start. And now I have a username and password field. So I'm just going to say admin and admin. So in this case, I don't have any admin user here, so it's just going to throw out an error here. You see, it is actually telling you that format of string does not conform to specific index or blah blah blah. How can we solve this? Let's get this fixed. Well, so what you have to do is just make sure you have a provider coming from Microsoft ace.oledb.12.0.data source, and then you specify the data source. I think there was a typo here, so I fixed that, and yeah, so you should be able to get something similar like this, and that actually has to work. So I'm just going to start it one more time and see what I have here. So I have a username and password. I'm just going to say admin and admin. Just click on login and you see invalid username or password. Now we have user and pass. Click on login and you see logged in successfully. And there you go, we have our main form. Alright, thank you guys for joining me on this awesome project. If you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do also subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you won't be missing any upcoming event or whatsoever. Until then, have a nice day, and Ikesoft Original is out.